Yo, what's up, guys? Welcome back for my week 3 battle of SPL. This time I'm playing Scythe. Now, I built this team, and it's looks like it has a good matchup versus him, considering he doesn't really have too many good Embor checks plus Durant checks on his team. Of course, I do have to worry about hustle and things like that, but I wanted to lead off with Rotom just in case he led off with Bronzong, Durant, um, or Slowking, both of which, or all three of which I could Will-O-Wisp, as he ended up, oh god, that music was loud, but he ended up leading off with his Flygon. Now, I don't want to risk him being the Life Orb Draco variant, so I am going to switch out into my Slowking just to tank that, as he actually ends up being the Life Orb Draco variant. Now, I kind of thought he would hard switch into his own Slowking right here. I didn't know if he had U-turn or not, so I decided to double back out into my Rotom, also getting back my regen as he actually does reveal the U-turn. So unfortunately, I am Pursuit trapped by his Spiritomb. So gonna go for Will-O-Wisp right now. That way, at least I trade damage on him and the burn versus his Pursuit. Based on the damage that he did to me, this looks like Black Glass's Spiritomb. I didn't think it was Choice Banded, so I actually wanted to see if he would go for Sucker Punch or anything. So after burning him, I actually decided to go for a switch over going for Hex, but he does go for the double pursuit and he is able to knock me out. However, I can easily go out to Embor. As you can see, Embor versus his team does not have very many switches at all. Gonna go right for Flare Blitz. I don't care if he goes at the Slowking. I want to gauge the damage as well, as he is definitely physically defensive because that is a crit and I get a burn on top of that, unfortunately, for my opponent. Really sucks for him. It's gonna let me easily wear down the Slowking, though I would have Scald burnt it with my own Slowking. Well, that was the play I would have gone for anyway. But obviously the burn plus crit matters, so he's going to go for Side Shock as I actually bring out my Slowking. He's trying to catch my Venusaur upon switching, as what I'm going to do is go for Scald. I do have the Grass Knot. I need to get him at about under 30% in order to knock him out with it. So what I'm going to do is repeatedly spam Scald right here, trying to either catch the Spiritomb, trying to catch anything that wants to come out, even a Virizion, as he is going to go for his own Scald. He is going to get the burn, which is, you know, what Scald does right now, as I'm going to choose to go for the Slack Off because I am Cobra Berry, so I can potentially switch out on his Spiritomb if I am at a high amount of HP, as he actually chooses to go for Scald again. This isn't a speed type, by the way. I do run speed on my Slowking, so I am able to outspeed him. Because he didn't heal, I'm able to knock him out with the Grass Knot, as he is going to be able to go out into his Durant. Now, I decided to save my Slowking just because it can come in easily on his Bronzong as well as his Flygon. So I'm going to go out to my Rhyperior just in case he wants to go for X-Scissor, as he reveals a sub. Pretty scary. He could be sub BP. He likes sub Baton Pass Durant. I was debating going for Earthquake right here just to break his sub because I didn't really care if he went out into Flygon because I do have Slowking in the back. But I decided to go for Rock Blast just because it can get off more damage on him, and I actually end up getting 5 hits with this Rock Blast. I do hit it, and I end up getting 5 hits, which is actually pretty crucial later on, as you guys will see. But I do get 5 hits, and I don't want to really mess around with a roll from his Durant's Iron Head. It is really, really in his favor to knock me out. So I'm going to go out to my own Durant. I'm also Choice Scarf Durant. I'm Choice Scarf Durant plus Choice Scarf Embor versus his team, as I'm able to bring that thing in. X-Scissor definitely knocks him out from that range of HP, so I'm going to go right for that. As Spiritomb comes out, so I'm able to knock that out with the burn. Now, Bronzong is going to come out. While I could 2-hit KO Bronzong with the X-Scissor, I also have to play around with Hustle because I could miss, and also the fact that he could have HP Fire. It's becoming more common on Bronzong for Mega Abomasnow. So I'm going to switch out into my Slowking, or excuse me, my Rhyperior. That way I can get up some Stealth Rock. The Stealth Rock just mean that I won't have to go for the, I won't have to go for repeated Flare Blitz. I could probably fire some superpowers and basically hurt him. It also will eventually bring down Flygon to the point where I can knock it out with the Flare Blitz. It takes about 44% minimum. So he goes for a double Toxic. Really interesting play, considering I had Venusaur as well as Slowking, which was already burnt in the back, so both of which wouldn't have cared, and also Durant could have came out right there. I did have Ice Punch on my Rhyperior, but the way he was staying in, I was like, okay, let me just weaken this thing. I guess I could have went for Ice Punch right here, and I would have been able to knock out the Flygon upon switching. Probably would have been a really nice play for me, to be honest, but I go for Rock Blast again because it also hits the Flygon. I get 2 hits right now. Had I gotten 3, I would have just clicked Flare Blitz with my Embor. right now. But he does take the life orb damage. He's still not in range 100% of Flare Blitz. It does do 44% min, and I'm not going to play around with a super low roll. So I'm going to go out to my Emboar. I know I do outspeed him because I am Choice Scarf, and I can go right for Superpower. Superpower will be able to knock him out 100% as he is going to go out to Bronzong. I'm also not going to play around with this roll versus Bronzong, potentially not knocking it out with Superpower. So I'm going to hard switch directly into my Slowking because I can repeatedly spam Scald if I want to. He reveals the HP Fire right there. I guess trying to catch my Durant or even hit Venusaur if I wanted to go out to that, though I would have done negligible damage. But I go for Psychic right here just in case he wants to bring out his Virizion, as he is going to go for Ancient Power. So I'm getting a little bit not worried, but I decided to throw off a Scald because I don't want to risk him getting the boost from Ancient Power, as he does bring out his Virizion, and I actually burn it, but he is Lumberry, so it doesn't really matter too much. Had I went for Psychic right there, he would have been in range 100% of Iron Head, but it doesn't really matter again because he's going to be able to knock me out. Basically, I keep in Slowking, that way I can 100% go out to Emboar and click Flare Blitz. Flare Blitz knocks out Flygon after Stealth Rock 100%. Flare Blitz knocks out Bronzong. Flare Blitz knocks out Virizion. The only way he can even have a chance is if he has Salac Berry Durant, which it turns out he is Salac Berry. So if I didn't get those 5 hits, he wouldn't have gotten the Salac Berry. Now, right here, I'm going to try to explain what's going through my head. Now, he's I don't know if he has Baton Pass. I don't know if he has Superpower. But basically, Scarf Emboar wins if he doesn't have Superpower. If he does have Superpower, Scarf Emboar can win. However, I don't want to stay in because if he does flinch me with Iron Head, I also have a chance of losing because not only do I have to win a speed tie with my own Durant, but I also have to connect with 3 Hustle boosted attacks and also get a roll versus Virizion. So right here, if he did have Superpower, I was kind of confident he would throw it out. So I decided to actually go out to my Venusaur. Yes, Venusaur could have taken the hit. I was thinking about it later, and my team was talking to me, and then, the Smog Tour was just running their mouth, oh my god, Joey choked, when they don't actually know, what the player is thinking. But I'm thinking this is a 50-50 right here, because if I stay in and he goes for Iron Head, I can knock him out. However, Iron Head brings me to enough recoil where if he sacks Virizion after, Flygon can potentially... Well, it really depends because Flygon only takes about 40% max from my Venusaur's Giga Drain. So Flygon can Earth Power stall me out. It also would have to hit with my Hustle Durant versus Flygon. So what I wanted to do was make it so I can just win with Emboar. So I decided that if he does have Superpower, he would throw it out right now. So I would go out into my Venusaur on the Superpower. But he actually ends up going right for Iron Head. So... obviously, the Smog Tour chat is like, oh my god, Joey choked. Oh my god. But anyway, Iron Head does, a nice amount. I'm not really defensive Venusaur. I have some HP investment, but it does 58%. Of course, he's still playing around with Hustle right here. Now, what would have happened if he went for Superpower? Basically, I would have been able to take Superpower plus Iron Head, and I would have knocked him out with Giga Drain. If Flygon wanted to come in, I spam Giga Drain, so I can just click Superpower with my Emboar to knock out Flygon, and then Emboar also can just switch out and then click Flare Blitz versus Virizion to win the game. However, he ended up clicking Iron Head right off the bat. Now, alternatively, I guess I could have went out to my Durant to sack it and also force a speed tie, and then brought out Venusaur. However, like I said, Flygon could roost on that. I'm not entirely sure how this would have went down, but basically if he went for Superpower right here, I was in a good position to win the game anyway. But what I was trying to do right now was force him to use his hustles, as he ended up going right for Iron Head, as you guys saw, versus my Venusaur. Good play. He got the 50-50 right, because it turns out he does have Superpower. People were saying, oh, he doesn't have Superpower, but it turns out he does have Superpower. So I go to Venusaur trying to bring it in on Superpower, as unfortunately he goes for the Iron Head and he actually hits both, so he's able to knock me out, as I am going to go out to my Durant. I am Choice Scarf, I am Jolly Choice Scarf, so this is a speed tie right here. All I got to do is win a speed tie and go for Iron Head and knock him out. I lose a speed tie, and he does indeed reveal the Superpower right there, so he definitely got me. Had I stayed in with Emboar, I guess had I sacked Durant to the Iron Head, because then I would have forced a speed tie right there, I don't think that would have worked, because I would still have to play around with flinches versus Venusaur, obviously versus Hustle as well, and then recoil also on my Flygon, my Emboar, excuse me, bringing me down. But then again, I would have been able to knock out Flygon, so I'm not entirely sure how this M game would have went down, but he does win a speed tie, which means he is going to be able to knock me out. Had I won the speed tie, I would have been able to knock out the Durant, and obviously Emboar won the game right there. But my Emboar is going to come out. I have to hope that he misses with Hustle, as he does not, and he's able to knock me out the Superpower, so that is going to be a good game. I don't know how that end game would have went down, to be honest. Obviously, if he went for Superpower as I went out to Venusaur, I would have been in fantastic position. He wouldn't have been able to knock me out bar like flinches from Iron Head, which is something you also have to play around with Durant. So I was trying to give myself the biggest chance to win. Maybe the correct play was sacking Durant, but then again, he still had that forced a speed tie, but he still had to not only win the speed tie, but he still had to go for Iron Head versus my Venusaur. I don't know. Some of my team was telling me to sack Emboar after the game. They were talking to me. They was like, maybe you should have sacked Emboar. But I was like, if I sack Emboar, not only do I have to play around with flinch, but I also have to get a roll versus Virizion in order to knock it out. And I have to hit 2 hustle boosted attacks. So I don't know how that would have went down. But in any case, obviously I lost. So I'm now 2-1 in SPL, unfortunately. I really do think... obviously, if I won the speed tie, I would have won that game because with Flare Blitz. But it is what it is. I'm not trying to give excuses. I'm just trying to explain myself or explain to you guys the thought process. If you say, "Oh my God, Joey always gives excuses," shout outs to Serifroth, man. I look forward to your comment. Again, I'm just trying to explain my thought process right there and why I thought, it was a 50-50 with the Iron Head. Obviously, the speed tie with Durant. Also, if he went for superpower right off the bat. I don't know why Flare Blitz. I guess he was also trying to make it so I can have to go off hustle with my own Durant. I'm not sure if that was his thought process, but in any case, it was definitely a good game. We'll see you guys for week 3 of SPL whenever week 4, excuse me. This is week 3, obviously. For week 4 of SPL, whenever I play that, that's obviously next week. And yeah, I'll see you guys later. So goodbye, and yeah, cue the outro.